I did read my own book. Unlike Charles Barkley, after he wrote his autobiography, he was questioned about it, and he said that he couldn't answer the question because he'd have to read the book first. And it's true that among the political scientists we brought into our project, that the Electoral College was favored. That's absolutely true. And the comparativists like the stability. It's true. The two groups that didn't like it, actually the ones that I think that are most important, the political philosophers didn't like it because it upset the notion of equality, and the institutionalists, the people who should really be supportive, didn't like it as well. I had a couple of really, really hard jobs here. The first job is to prove that we're going to get better presidents. And you run up against Mount Rushmore immediately. So we'll put them on the left side. John Quincy Adams, Warren G. Harding, James Buchanan, Little Jimmy, created the Civil War. That was a real success. I'm not so sure. And honestly, aside from being a moderate Democrat, I would have preferred the popular outcome in the year 2000. We've gotten a president with the lowest public approval ratings for the longest time in history. But I don't think we want to really argue the Bush administration now. We'll come back in 40 years and do that. But I've got to argue better presidents. How do you prove a negative? How do you I don't know. I think that the system that's in place for senators, governors, whatever, has produced both good and bad. We've had good and bad presidents. We've had presidents who were impeached. We've had presidents, for better or for worse. We've had presidents who have resigned. We've had presidents who probably were good in their first term and weak in their second term, and on and on. So that's a criterion that would be difficult to unless I, again, was Karnak. So that's an issue, I think that when we're looking at this cause of this great stability, I think that, with all due respect to Daniel Moynihan, I think that other folks have reached other conclusions why we have this stability. I wonder why a winner-take-all at the national level would not produce the same aggregation that it does at the state level. I'm not sure I understand the difference. And in fact, you have regional we were lucky to have dodged the bullet of Strom Thurmond in 1968. 48 easily could have thrown the election into the House of Representatives. We were lucky to have dodged the bullet of George Wallace as well. And when he talks about the elections of 1980 with Ronald Reagan and 1992 with Bill Clinton, in both cases you had a relatively powerful third-party candidate, John Anderson in 1980, Ross Perot in 1992. And so and I'm not sure that the Electoral College victory of 70% really helped Bill Clinton that much. somehow don't recall national health care being swept through on that great mandate of the Electoral College. Because for many of the things that are valuable here, of the conservatism of the system, the stability, we have something that's really powerful and really does pull back this system. Highly unrepresentative, highly illegitimate. It's called the U.S. Senate.
Thank you, Dr. Loomis. 5 minutes.
I will take that defense of the United States Senate and apply it to the Electoral College. If you attack the Electoral College on the basis of unequal representation, you've got to attack the Senate. You people in Michigan are overrepresented in the United States Senate compared to California, right? You're underrepresented compared to Kentucky. I have one of the Senate leaders in my state, so you're way underrepresented compared to Kentucky because of that. Dr. Loomis, one of the things he said was he thinks abolishing the Electoral College, going with the national popular vote, would give us a more clear national winner. I'll take that up directly. And I think the election of 2000 shows that is not the case. He says it does say it, so we go with his argument or mine. I will say it does not go with it. It does not show that. Al Gore, at the end of the day, after all the votes are counted in, and they all are counted, except for the Chads and things hanging there, whatever. In 2000, Al Gore wins the popular vote by about 582,000, is that what it is? Something like that. 580,000 votes. Less than 1% of the votes cast. The first night it was, remember when he conceded and then took the concession back and all that? It was less than 100,000 votes. Went up slightly, 150,000 votes or so. This is a sliver of the electorate. I was 6 days after the 2000 election. I was walking with a very major and important Democratic senator. I won't say his name, but he ran for president this year, and he's from Connecticut. And I was walking with him, and it was 6 days after the election. We didn't know who the president was, and I said to him, and a little depressed, because if you remember back then, the first Hillary didn't come out saying immediately, we need national health care. The first thing Hillary said when she was elected, we need to abolish the Electoral College in 2000. And I was depressed. I thought, it's over. It's over. And I said to him, I said, I suppose you're for, abolishing the Electoral College now. And he stopped and looked at me like I was insane. And he says, are you crazy? And he said, do you imagine the nightmare we would be having right now if we had a national popular vote? And this is what he meant by that. What the Electoral College did in 2000 was focus our fight. It was ugly. It was horrible to see what was happening in the courts down there and what was happening with those hanging chads and all that kind of stuff. But the beauty of it was a fight in one state. And in fact, it was essentially a fight in one county or a couple of counties down there. That was the fight. And he said to me, he said, now, if we had a national popular vote and the election is now so close as a tenth of a point separating there, half a point separating them, do you think we couldn't steal enough votes across this country to change that election? You think we could not rule people's vote out? We could not challenge them? We couldn't challenge maybe the military vote because there's something coming that they weren't postmarked in time, something like that? You think we couldn't do that? We would be fighting, and I think this is what you're going to get. You abolish the Electoral College. You get a close election like 2000. We don't have a fight in Florida. We have a fight in every state of this union. We have a fight in every congressional district of this country. We have a fight in every county. We have a fight in every precinct. Because if you had a couple of votes this precinct, that precinct up across this country, you tell people their votes didn't count, their driver's license was off something, you change that election. We're not going to get a clear winner. We're going to get chaos. It's great for lawyers. If you're a lawyer out there, election lawyer, abolish the Electoral College. You're in. I have less than 1 minute, but I'll say Dr. Loomis gave a list of states that weren't visited in 2000. I'll tell you a few states that were visited in 2000. You tell me whether you think they'll ever be ever visited again if we go for the direct national popular vote. How about West Virginia? How about New Hampshire? How about New Mexico? How about Nevada? How about Arkansas? How about Tennessee? And beyond states, because that's not what it's really about. How about Western Kentucky, Western Michigan? You think you ever see a presidential candidate again? You abolish the Electoral College, you will never see one again. If they come to Michigan, they'll go to Detroit. They'll never come out here because there's not enough numbers out here. They'll go to the major population centers of this country. All the focus will be there. Western Michigan will be never heard from again, except I'll come live here, so it's okay.